Om Shanti. Today we will, as Baba has underlined in the Murli also, will first understand two laws. First law is your consciousness activates your sanskars. Okay, so I, the soul, have had a very long journey, 84 birth journey. So in my whole, memory track, I have every possible sanskar. I have the sanskar of being absolutely peaceful, like I was in the soul world. I have the sanskar of having every action or performing every action as a deity, because I have been in the deity world for 2500 years. Then I have all the other stuff also which I accumulated in my onward journey. I have the sanskars of being a good Brahmin, being a good Baba's child, because that also I have done in the previous cycle. But in spite of having all these possible sanskars, which are the sanskars that I operate with all through the day? Okay, so now those are the sanskars which are in an emerged state. Yes, because I'm using them more often. And I always give this example of the bhandara, the kitchen, where you have all these spices available for you, but then you don't use every spice every day. Yes, you use some, you use turmeric, you use coriander, you use salt, pepper. So all those spices are somewhere in the front shelf. And then there is everything in the kitchen, but it's kind of pushed backwards. And then one day you want to cook a recipe which doesn't need the usual ingredients, it needs something else. And then you think that probably it's not there because you've not used it for a long time. Yes, so what you do is you send somebody to fetch that spice which is there, but it's just lurking somewhere in the back shelf. Similarly, Baba says, you have all these sanskars, but what are the sanskars that you every day use? So, we are very body conscious. We are on our way to being soul conscious, but I don't know if we are there yet. So, partly or mostly body conscious. And then what happens is, in this state of body consciousness, worry, fear, hurt, body, seeing the body instead of the soul. These are the sanskars that we use every day. And because we use them every day, they are the sanskars that are always present in an emerged state. Okay? Now, Baba says that if you use a different set of sanskars every day, then they will become your natural sanskars, or they will be in the emerged state. Right? Now, how do you come to that place where you start using a different set of sanskars continuously until they become your natural sanskars? Now, how do you reach that place? So, Consciousness is the key. Now let's understand what we mean by your consciousness decides which sanskars you use. Now, for example, do you know we have professional values and family values? Yes, so there are people who say that I have professional values and I have family values. So when you are in the family, when you are sitting with your parents, siblings, spouse, children, at that time, your family values are emerged. Okay, and then you think, you speak, you discern, you decide based on those values. Your thought process is very different. And then when you enter the boundary of the office, then your professional values are in an emerged state. And then you operate differently. Your thought process, the way you discern things, the way you look at things is very different. So you are a different person in these two places. Right? Now, what causes this difference? You are one person, and then how can you operate so differently in these two places? Because of your consciousness. What is consciousness? Your sense of who you are. When you're sitting at home, your sense of who you are is, I belong to this family belongs to me. Yes, I am this family person. And then when you are in the office, your consciousness is, I am an employee, and then there are many others who are trying to take advantage of me, or I'm in this competitive environment, and I'm surviving, and survival of the fittest is the law, and these things are there in your consciousness. So who you are defines what sanskars get activated. Yes, your sense of who you are. And this is why Baba says that just like you know that there are professional values, there are family values, there is a different value set you follow with friends. Yes, so when you're with friends, you might have a value system that you don't mind what they say. And that's something you have fed into yourself. And then that doesn't allow you to mind what they say. So Baba says, these are different programming that we have done with respect to different consciousness. Now, do you know how it feels like to be you? So when you know how it feels like, or how you need to act, or how you are meant to act when you are a parent or a child or a boss or a colleague or an employee, you know all of that. But then Baba says, now I'm teaching you that you are a soul, and I'm also teaching you how do you feel when you're soul conscious? How do you act when you're soul conscious? How do you respond when you're soul conscious? Yesterday, Baba gave us 7 points about how you respond when you're soul conscious. Yes, so Baba is training us. How do you feel when you're soul conscious? How do you act when you're soul conscious? How do you respond when you're soul conscious? And when Baba is giving us this training and we practice this in yoga, so when you are sitting in yoga and when you're sitting in this awareness that you are a soul and you are the child of Baba and you have the same qualities as Baba, and you sit in the awareness of those qualities until you can feel what it feels like to be you. And then you create an image of how you will behave when you're soul conscious during the day. So the same circumstances, the same environment. But if during the day you are soul conscious, how will you behave? Just take some scene from yesterday, something that happened yesterday, and then ask yourself how you would have behaved in that scene if you were soul conscious. Okay. And then when you do that, you are creating a script for today. So Baba says, practice this in the laboratory of your mind and then apply this in your day-to-day life. And then what will happen is, being soul conscious will become your natural sanskar. So this is something that Baba is teaching. And then there is another law that Baba tells us, smriti se sthiti. So your state of mind corresponds to who you are remembering. Okay. Now, if you just take out 5 minutes and remember some bitter incidents of your life, what happens to your state of mind? Yes, so remembrance colors your state of mind. So Baba says, when you remember Baba, then Baba colors your state of mind. So this is another law that Baba says. And then there is a third law also which Baba mentions in the Murli today, that when you leave the body, when the soul leaves the body, then you take the sanskars with you. And your sanskars determine what you would do in the next body. So it doesn't depend on the context you're born in. So, if you, I will tell you one very interesting thing. There is this sister who comes to the center, and she told me, Didi, I will tell you a secret. And the secret is, I was born into an affluent family. I was married into an affluent family, and there has never been any dearth of anything. So I've always been given the best. Everything around me has been plentiful. But I have this tendency to hide things from others, especially eatables. So I'm always worried that somebody will eat the halwa that's made, and then I'll hide it in the corner of the kitchen or corner of the refrigerator. And then I'm very greedy for stuff. And then I fail to understand why it is so, because everything was always available. If I want, I can order halwa 5 times a day and it will be provided. It's not an issue. But I don't know, I have the sanskar. So do you understand what a sanskar is? So even if you are born in a different context, if you don't train yourself, to align with that context, then that sanskar stays. Sanskars need to be worked on. They don't go away on their own. And Baba says that, Baba gives the example of people who choose to join the military services. And then, when they're very young also, you will hear them say that I want to join the military. Why? Because they carry that sanskar from previous birth. So Baba says, similarly, I just explained how you create sanskars. And Baba says you have to create these sanskars that will serve you well in that deity kingdom, because you will be going to that world which is a deity world, and if you don't have the sanskars corresponding to that, you cannot go there. So Baba says, create those sanskars today. And today I found something very interesting in the Murli. Baba says, Baba talks about the importance of education. Yes, and I have studied in the past that when there is some group or somebody with vested interests, and they don't want you to develop, they are against the development of a nation or a state or a community, then what you do is, the easiest way is, you don't give them access to education. So if you want somebody to not come to their power, what you do is you cut off their source of education. And this is a method that is adopted by many vested interests. And education is power, knowledge is power, it is said. And if you are not educated, you will never have power. So if you want to have power over the land, over the law of land, then you need to be educated. You want to have power over the 5 elements of nature. You want to use them to your advantage or operate in a way that you can coexist. You need to have education. So education is power, and education is very important. And Baba says today that we understand the importance of education about the 5 elements of nature, about the law of the country, about getting educated about how the laws of physics work, or how the laws of biology work, so how your body is operating or the universe is operating. You understand that that's important. But then what people don't understand is, it's equally important to understand the laws of spirituality. And you need to understand who you are in order to operate well with who you are. And you are a soul, and knowing nothing about the soul or about spiritual laws is making you very powerless. And this whole situation that we are in today as a whole world, where everybody is feeling very powerless, is because of this education or this lack of education. So Baba says that this education about who you are, who you belong to, education about your powers, your virtues, your abilities is very, very important. When I came to Baba, I did not know that I think and I have a choice to think what I want. And today I sit and think about that time when I didn't even know. I think and I have a choice about what to think, how much to think. And it's deplorable when you think about that. And there are people who are begging to doctors to give them medicines so that they can control their thought. Yes, so you don't have education, you don't have power over your own mind. You don't have power over your sanskars. You don't know why you're behaving the way you're behaving. And I will also share one incident. There was this sister, and she told me that I have a son, and he is going to college. He's in a foreign country, so there is this thing that you have to be accepting and open about the vicious ways of your children also. So then she told me that now that he's in college, so he has taken to alcohol and to other stuff like lust and things, and he shared it with me. So I said, and then what? Then she said, Didi, this is normal and I can't stop it. And anyways, I'm not worried if he's getting good grades and he's getting into a job and it's okay. So I just told him that he should take care that it doesn't hamper his studies and it doesn't hamper his possibility of getting gainfully employed. And then I told her, is that all that he's born for? So do you know even animals can fend for themselves? so, so no animal dies hungry. So you're only worried about he earning enough to feed himself or getting good grades. But what did you learn from Baba? I told that sister, you are in Gyan, and what did you learn from Baba? So a soul has the power to make this world heaven. So you are a child of Baba. You have the power to absorb, to take in that purity, that peace, become an embodiment of peace, purity, knowledge. And you have the power to create a different world. Not through what you do alone, but you have the power to create a different world through your vibration, through your being. And what is it that you're talking about? Why don't you educate him about the possibilities of that, or about what a human soul can create? That's education. When I was in college, there were many students who didn't know the possibilities. They didn't know which exams to write. They didn't know what are the career options they can have. And it's very important. You can become a deity. Nobody told you that. And Baba comes and tells us the possibilities, and Baba gives us education about our internal virtues, powers. He tells us about, just like, when you are educated, you know how to control things and how to work around them. So education tells you things that are changeable and things that are constant, and you have to work around them. This is a very important aspect of education. Education tells you what you can change and what you can't change. Yes, you can't change the law of gravity. You have to work your way around it. But you can change the composition of chemicals and create something new. So there are children who always ask this question, whether there is free will or everything is predestined. So it doesn't work like it's either or. Some things are fixed, you work around them. And some things you get to choose. Yes? You can't choose your current body. Your body is a given right now. But you can choose what to do with it. So this is predestined, and then there is choice also. So everything, when you are educated, you know what is fixed and what is variable. Where is there choice and where you need to accept. And in relationship to the 5 elements of matter, we know this stuff. And we are working, every day there are medicines and there are other things which enable you to have more choice. So as technology advances, you have greater choice. Similarly, Baba says, I tell you that there are some things that are fixed and there are some things you can choose, and you have greater choice if you have greater yoga with Baba. So the more you become spiritually powerful, your choice increases. So previously, I had only the choice to change myself. I didn't have the choice to change others because I didn't have that power. But now I've been meditating for 12 years, so I know I can choose, I can change others also. So your choice keeps expanding with evolution. So just like with technological evolution, you have greater choice. With spiritual evolution also, you have greater choice, and that is what education teaches you. But you have to come to that position by working on it. Yes, so Baba says that this is the importance of spiritual education, and you have to tell the government also. Baba says that this education is important, and take it to the government and tell them that this needs to be taught. And we had the touch, we have, in fact, I don't know in this COVID times probably how it's panning out, but we have this Touch the Light program for school children, and then there are courses courses in value education and other courses that we have designed for the adults in college and post graduation. So Baba says you need to take it to the government and tell them that this education is important. And then Baba says another very interesting thing in the Murli. He talks about interest, intoxication, and ego. So there are these three very interesting things Baba says. He says interest, intoxication, and ego. Now we understand that Baba's message, Baba's education needs to reach everybody. There are some people who do not have any interest in doing seva. Yes, there are some souls who are not interested. So Baba says they are like those empty clouds, who, who are not interested in filling and raining. So you're a cloud, but you cannot bring prosperity to an area, you're good for nothing. So Baba says there are some in that category, because Baba is filling us with so much, and then it's of no use because there's no interest to extend it to others. So this is one category. Then there are some who have interest, but they don't have intoxication. And it takes more than interest to accomplish something these days. Yes, it needs something called junoon, and if you don't have that, then you will be, because whenever you pursue something of interest, it's not a smooth road. There will be many challenges from your own sanskars, challenges from external world. There'll be so many challenges, and if you don't have the intoxication, you cannot pursue your interests to the finish. So this is intoxication, and in this journey I have understood one thing, which is doing something is not a big deal, but doing it consistently is a big deal. And dadis are dadis, or Baba is Baba, Mama is Mama, not because of what they did, but because they did it from the beginning till the end with the same fervor and with the same tempo. That's what's important. And that is intoxication. And Baba says, if you really have the spiritual intoxication that you want to create the golden age, and you have the intoxication that you are this powerhouse and you are the child of this ocean, and you really stay in touch with that by watering it every day. So, zeal and enthusiasm have to be created these days. Yes, do you think we wake up this enthusiastic? Nobody wakes up enthusiastic. So every day in Amrit Vela, you have to pump yourself up. And you have to remind yourself who you are and what is your purpose and how God Himself is looking at you and He wants you to do stuff. So Baba says this is intoxication, and if you want to do seva, you have to have intoxication. And then there is this third thing called ego. So you have to have interest, you have to pump that interest up to intoxication, and then beware of ego. And what is ego? If you're not careful, then somewhere in the middle, this consciousness of I am doing it and I am the one and I am the one who is actually doing it and carrying out, and I am here to be thanked and people should be grateful and I need to get some credit for it. These things come up. Yes, and you have to check for that ego, because there's a very good saying, pride hath a fall. So whenever pride comes in, the next moment you fall. This is a sign. If you fall, it's because of ego. Only a journey with humility can be a sustained journey. The moment you have pride, you will fall. That's the law. And then you want to collect yourself and then again go back to it. It is a lot of labor, and then a lot of time and energy is lost in that. So Baba says, beware of ego. Every day, it's a conscious effort to keep yourself humble. Remind yourself that you are an instrument. And when I was young, I saw this, I don't know, it was a cartoon or a film or something, and it was very interesting. And in that they showed that there was a club of fairies, and then those fairies were vested with powers. And there was this some kind of a ceremony, and then they were given powers. And then whenever they crossed the line, they lost their power. So whenever they did something that they overstepped, they did something they were not entitled to do or supposed to do, they lost their power. And I always think about this journey like that. So Baba has given us everything, and when we cross the line, then our powers go away. And suddenly you realize that what you could do so smoothly yesterday you are not capable of doing anymore. Yes, you are not able to think, you're not able to speak the same language, you're not able to do stuff that you were so capable of. You're not able to stay peaceful. Yesterday you were peaceful. And that's what ego does. So when Baba says you don't overstep, you don't overstep. So always remember, Baba has given this to you, and We are who we are because of that grace, that endowment, and stay humble. So Baba says, do seva. Yes, even if you contribute in some way to the, to financially, the growth of the seva financially, it's what Baba has given you, isn't it? What if we didn't have the resources? Could you help it? So we have what we have because of this destiny, and because Baba is there with us, and Baba has given us the buddhi to earn properly and earn in a just way. That's why we have the resources. And Baba says, look at everything with humility. Use everything in seva. Use the talents, use the energy, use the time, use the resources. But always remember that there is nothing to be egoistic about. And if you do that, then seva will take you to, Baba says that sevadhari, if you are a sevadhari, then you will get the meva. So seva and meva are connected. So you will get the fruit of your service, but you have to serve with humility. So this is Baba's Murli today. Baba is talking about creating sanskars like Baba. And then Baba is talking about doing seva with humility and not letting ego make you have a fall. And then Baba today tells us the meaning of Purusharth. And in English it is translated as effort maker, Purusharthi. But in Hindi it's better to understand. So Purusharthi means, Baba says, it's a soul who is a Purusharthi or an effort maker, a soul who stays in soul consciousness and uses the body to create good karma. That's the meaning of Purusharth. That's the meaning of spiritual effort. Spiritual effort is not rocket science. Spiritual effort is very simple. When you are soul conscious and you are doing karma in soul consciousness, that's taking you spiritually ahead. So that is spiritual effort. So whatever you do in soul consciousness is spiritual effort. Yes, whether you are doing it for your own spiritual development or helping others see themselves, uplift themselves, it's all spiritual effort if you're doing it in soul consciousness. Okay, Om Shanti.